George Raynaud. I'm 9 years old. I go to the Bergman Academy, and I have type 1 diabetes. The day I was diagnosed, I remember my mom was crying. I was really confused. I didn't know what was happening.
I'll never forget the day that George was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. It changed his life, my life, our family's life so dramatically. It was a very scary, frustrating time, and it's definitely etched on my memory forever.
I discovered that George had diabetes when I got a call from Amanda. I was on a business trip, and it was one of the toughest calls I've ever received. I grew up with diabetes in the family. My sister had type 1 diabetes. She was diagnosed when she was 5. Back then in the 70s, the technology that has been developed by JDRF did not exist. Testing equipment, pumps, small needles, and my sister had a very tough time. So when I heard that George had diabetes, I was horrified that we would have to go through something similar.
When I just figured out, and when my brother and my parents explained to me what diabetes was, I was scared because I didn't know what it meant. And I wondered, was my brother going to be okay? Was something going to happen to him?
Diabetes has changed my life a lot in the way that I'm a lot more cautious about what I eat and when I eat it. I have a pretty strict schedule about when I'm supposed to eat. And so, because it can mess up my blood sugar if I don't eat it on time. My parents have been really helpful in the way they have been very supportive of helping my diabetes and of JDRF, and they've really helped. I don't think I could get through this with any other parents.
Having a child with diabetes is like having an extra child, because he requires so much monitoring and attention, and we really spend a lot of time subconsciously now, but it's a part of our life every day, every meal. We test blood, we wake up in the morning, it's always with us. Even when George is at school and he's not with me, his diabetes is still a part of me.
My greatest fears for George are his handling the disease, especially as he gets older, as he gets into his teens and college, and how hard it's going to be that disciplined and that focused all the time. Longer term, I know that George is a great guy. He's got a very positive attitude, so I don't worry about him psychologically. I just worry that some of the things he wants to do, such as be a Navy SEAL, may be difficult to do with type 1 diabetes, to be honest.
I have two great fears for George. One, that he won't be able to achieve or accomplish the things that he wants to do because his health and his disease are holding him back. And the other is that he won't be able to grow into an old man, a healthy old man who can see and hear and has a healthy heart because of all the complications that can come with a disease like type 1 diabetes.
JDRF is doing a fabulous job, is pushing very hard on numerous fronts. We're looking at the beta cell replacement process, and that looks very promising, but I know that JDRF is looking in other directions as well, not just for the cure, but also to alleviate the symptoms of the disease and make it more manageable. And that's incredible. And what I've seen in my lifetime in the diabetic space and how to manage it and how to handle it today compared to previously, and what I'm hoping to see in the future, is why we support JDRF and why we're so keen on it.
The day George was diagnosed and we went to Blank, after seeing Dr. Cook, we were immediately shuffled down the hallway to a diabetes educator who gave George a backpack from JDRF with the teddy bear in it and a book. And even before we met anyone from JDRF, the organization had become a part of our lives. And I don't think we fully even realized how influential JDRF is in the diabetic community until we were further along and sort of more stabilized. But they were really, really helpful, and they still are today.
JDRF helps kids handle their diabetes and gives them a hope that someday there will be a cure.
It would be a miracle if my brother got a cure for diabetes, because it would change his life.
A cure would mean a lot to me. It would change my life, make it a lot easier for me.
The more people that contribute and donate to JDRF and understand type 1 diabetes and how prevalent it is in our society, in our world today, the closer we will come to finding a cure and helping not just children but adults and people who don't even have type 1 diabetes that will be diagnosed this season. And we need everyone to be on board and to participate, because it is a widespread disease that affects millions of people, and without understanding and support, there will never be a cure.
Every dollar we spend for that cure is a dollar that will take us that much closer to the cure, that much closer to making this a livable disease, not the problem that it is today. We've made so much progress, and JDRF has spent so much time and effort and money already. We know that we're getting closer and closer. So it's important that we step up, continue to invest, and help find that cure as soon as possible.
Say what you need to say what you need